Thank you for leaving your comment. First thing, I'm not going to defend against accusations of racism that I do not consider have any base to them. So until the accusation has some basis to it, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm not racist. And then there's me calling her Shaniqua. Okay, so here's the deal. She comes at me with a whole bunch of character defamation and comparing me, an individual, to my ethnic group and the historical narrative of oppression. Like, I'm a whole package. I'm all the oppressors through history. I'm all the white people in the world, all in that one white man in front of her. She brings that level of atrocious racism to the table. No one notices it. It's acceptable in polite society. It's bread on the table at the restaurant. And it just goes by without any problems. But then I say Shaniqua in jest, so I can kind of start the smack talking with this lady. Oh, and I'm the problem. I'm a racist now. Well, here's the deal. I'm not complaining. I just don't care that you would characterize me as such. I'm looking for the truth, and I'm trying to get public discourse to develop some kind of sensibility about these issues that we are not talking about and we've blocked from our perception. You know, the emperor has no clothes, and we need to course correct and seek the truth. And I simply do not care if a bunch of people who are allowed by polite society to be racist take anything I say and twist it so that they can weaponize it against me and portray me as racist to hurt me so that I am in a perceived worse position in the discourse and they lose through power games. Not going to do it. Not going to play that game. Frankly, if you're an anti-white racist black person, and by me calling you Shaniqua or Tyrone, you lose your crap and just starts falling out of your pants, well, then should I treat you with kid gloves? Should I treat you as a non-equal? Because I want to treat you as an equal. The way I treat equals is that when you come to me and insult me, I'm going to insult you back. You're going to bring the heat, I'm going to bring the heat. So a bunch of racist black people bring the heat. The second I turn it back on them, they're crying. They're crying. Sending all the little white lackeys at me. Collect your white boy up. Go collect your white boy up. He called one of our black queens Shaniqua. I want to have difficult conversations and heal wounds. I'm not going to play power games. I'm going to confront power games. And then I'm going to create a space where I can do what I want to do. And you're not going to get in that space. You're not going to get in the way. Okay? So think what you want. If you see me calling her Shaniqua as racist, but if she were to call me a Klan member as not racist and even chuckle a little bit, then I'm coming for you, baby. I'm coming for you, baby. But don't get it twisted. I'm no white supremacist. I'm a MAGA supremacist. And if you have actually engaged with any of the linguistic content in my videos, you would see that I'm very much against racism. I'm just pro-white in a context culturally where that's taboo and where anti-white racism is acceptable and part of polite society. So when I engage in different kind of theatrics, or I use language that's inflammatory, or I frame things in a manner that is going to cause some reactions reliably, it's because I'm trying to approach this from a meta-analytical perspective. Because the current behavioral and rhetorical paradigm is anti-truth. And because of that, to engage, to find interlocutors that are my opponents and engage with them within their paradigm means that I can never attain a course-corrective, truth-seeking path. And because of that, I have to break their paradigm somehow, getting them to move out of it. So at this point, anyone who I've gotten to the point where they want to address me on my level hasn't been able to. And usually when people see that I'm trying to pull them out of the paradigm and reorient them towards classic understandings of words and definitions so that the discussion can be grounded on the principles of equality, not equity, they're unwilling to platform a discussion in which the principles are not equity. Because of that, the discussion is anti-truth inherently. So by taking a meta-analytical perspective on things through theatrics, I'm hopefully going to break the veil, so to speak. Okay, so we're never going to be able to heal in America, especially between black and white men, if we don't stop allowing for people to enter into a conversation and say they're talking about racism, but what they're really talking about is a Marxist concept of systemic oppression, where white people are inherently racist and black people can't be racist. Good-natured people that are trying to figure out the truth and do what's best for everyone get caught up in conversations like that, and they don't know what's going on. And they get steamrolled. And that's got to end. It's got to end. So before we can talk and have a conversation, you need to understand that we're going to discuss racism from the legal framework of liberalism and principles of equality in America. And it's not going to be an exercise in moving people closer towards accepting the equity paradigm. So I don't imagine many people on the left willing to engage with this, and I don't really care. I would like them to. But the important part is to getting people who are not ideologically entrenched to see these things going on so they can be broken. And at this point, no one has really been successful in holding space for that. It usually just gets attacked. You know, Elon was able to get X, but he's had to fight a real serious war to maintain it. So imagine what it's like for me. I'm just me. She called me racist, but she believes I'm inherently racist. So she's trying to get me to account or defend myself against accusations of racism within the conversation, put me on the defensive. But ideologically, she doesn't believe that I can be anything other than racist. So she's really trying to get me to accept my racism, not prove my racism. To her, it's a given. But I'm not going to be defensive against those baseless accusations. I'm going to point out that she's not talking about racism. She's talking about a Marxist formulation of racism, which is prejudice plus power. That is not racism. That is Marxism. Okay? So I'm not going to have discussions about racism that shoehorns in equity and Marxist concepts through parasitic use of language. So much so that I'd like to have an event where myself and other people like me and black men can get together and have these difficult conversations where we parse things out. And if people can't handle the discussion, we will have controlled violence. That's how much I'm invested in it. I'm not a fighter. I'm going to get my ass beat. Okay? So a willingness to take point man and get your ass beat is where I'm at. What are you going to do? I say this all the time. I have the absolute luxury, and I'm grateful for it, that I get to fight communists with words and images, because that's typically not how it goes. So basically, we got to weed out the Marxists by identifying the parasitic use of language and the manipulation of group dynamics, social dynamics through the use of power games and control tactics. Things like Darvo, deny attack, reverse the role of victim and offender. There's a lot of things that they do that we can learn to get the common person to see. And we need to break through the veil, and it's such a strong veil, these ideologies have such a strong grip on people, that when you go and you try to have these conversations, it quickly turns into, why don't you come into the hood, say that, and see what happens. Well, if violence is right there, then why don't we do it in a controlled setting where no one has a tactical advantage? Let's say I have a tactical advantage in this realm, the realm of words and images. Well, someone, a black guy who I'd be talking to in this setting, might have a tactical advantage when it comes to the realm of violence. He's a little fearful to really drill down with language with me, and I'm a little fearful to put the gloves on with him. And that fear is going to keep us in proper order. And the result of the fight, that's probably going to happen, is going to be a rapport building exercise between us. He's going to respect me, I'm going to respect him. And it's also a challenge to him to learn to use his words a little better. It's a challenge to me to get into the gym and train a little more, so we can build ourselves up as men through these conflicts in this process of striving to fulfill the destiny of our ancestors as Americans. People go where their men lead them. Look where my people are going. Look where your people are going. The men need to work together to make America safe for children again.